Hey everybody, it's Todd over at Liscombe Tree Service. Hey, just wanted to go over some frequently asked questions that we get. One of the most important and common ones is definitely, are you guys fully insured, or what does that mean exactly? So when it comes to a company being fully insured, there's typically three things you should be looking for. And tree services especially, these three typical insurances are: number one, general liability; number two, workers' compensation; and number three, their auto policies for their vehicles and equipment. So we'll break them down here. So for the general liability, what that means is, what the general liability covers pretty much all the structures, your property, everything else. The general liability of the liability the company's putting onto your property. So if, in our situation as a tree service, if we were to cut it, we were to hit a house, damage the siding, damage, driveways or whatever else, that would cover that. So when it comes to that, make sure that the coverage that the company you're hiring has enough coverage to pay for the property that you have. They cannot have a $100,000 policy and your house is worth $900,000. They're grossly underinsured and they're not going to be able to cover anything if it were to happen. So make sure that on general liability. When it comes to workers' compensation, what that is for is employees that are on the job site. So typically there's some exemptions with owner operators and things like that, but typically anybody that have contractors that has employees, 1099s don't work how they say they do. They have to have workers' compensation on each employee, right? So you'll see their policy and you'll definitely you'll know what kind of occurrence per occurrence they have. If somebody were to get hurt, it would cover that. Then when it comes to automobile, if their truck were to come out of gear, roll down and hit a car, hit a house or something like that, that would go under your automobile. When it comes to all these insurance, the number one thing to do not just trust the contractor to hand you a piece of paper that looks legitimate and you have no clue how to read. Call the number on there and verify their insurance. Make sure that they are matching what they're saying that they have, because a lot of people will not be valid and they'll be dishonest about them having work comp and get you to sign the deal. Another thing you should do is, if you're skeptical about someone, you should call that insurance company and you can get listed as an additional insured. So that means it kind of locks you into their policy so they can't run off and ghost out. It's a legit policy and you're locked in if something were to ever happen. Super cheap. Any commercial insurance should be able to do it in 2 seconds. And if your commercial broker cannot send additional insured or COIs out within a couple hours, then you should find somebody else. So that's what I would say when it comes to insurance and the contracting tree world. And if you guys got any other questions, feel free to reach out.